Hey, it's me, Jeff, your favorite buff muscular anime guy. Today I was going through my fridge and I found these old apples. I picked these things in October of last year, and being as it's now late April, I figured it was probably time to use them, so I wanted to try making some protein applesauce. I started off by peeling the apples. I then divided them into quarters, some more gracefully than others. I then threw them into a pot and added 3 tablespoons of lemon juice, as well as some cinnamon, and also some salt. At this point I was supposed to add about a cup of water, but water doesn't have a lot of protein, and this is Protein Kitchen, so I took my water and I added in a scoop of unflavored protein. I shook that all up, and it created this foamy mixture like it always does, and I poured that on top, and that actually looks pretty good. At this point I was supposed to add like half a cup of sugar, but this is Protein Kitchen and we don't let the carbs win here. So instead, I added maple syrup donut flavored protein. I figured that would be sweet enough and the maple would probably go with the apple. So I threw in a scoop and a half of that. I then stirred it up and put it on the stove, and as you can see, it kind of just looked like the exact same liquid with protein clumps in it. But once I heated it up, that kind of smoothed out, and I was getting a little bit excited. It started to foam up more than a little bit, which meant I had to stir it a lot when it was coming to a boil. But once it boiled, I then reduced the heat and put the lid on it. The unfortunate part of having the lid on it was that it started to overflow a lot, so I actually had to cook it with the lid off in the end, despite my best efforts. I didn't want to waste those apple skins, so I cut them up all good-like. You can also see that I have one off to the side where I managed to keep the entire apple skin in one piece. Here's the final product off of the stove, because at this point it was done, because it took me so long to cut the apple skins. As you can see, it doesn't look much like applesauce. But that's fine, because it is applesauce, just with protein. At this point I threw those apple skins into the pan. I threw in a little bit of butter and cinnamon, hoping to make them taste all nice, and the kitchen smelled great. I then took my eggs, I masterfully cracked them into a container, I stirred them up and I poured them on top. At this point the apple skins started to look like bacon, which got my hopes up in the wrong direction. I then added that entire apple skin. I was hoping to make a nice swirl all the way throughout the egg, but instead it just kind of fell like this, and that was the best I could do. So here it is after it started to cook a little bit, because I added some nutmeg, so I took another photo. I was hoping to get that flavor because I did not want to put ketchup on top of my eggs when they were full of apples. I then tried to gracefully flip it like I did a few videos ago. However, I got too scared, so it actually only flipped about halfway. Sad. However, you can see it really looks like bacon. And then boom! Here's the final product. I have an apple cinnamon omelet, and I have applesauce. The applesauce tasted fine, but the texture was awful and really hard to get by, so I give it a 4. The eggs were actually the worst. I give them about a 2. Those flavors didn't go well together, the apple skins just got kind of slimy, and I really regretted keeping that one in one piece because it kind of created a string that I couldn't break throughout the entire omelet. Alright, I'll see you next Sunday, goodbye!